Ladies, gentlemen, and beautiful bastards, welcome to Hot Takes, man, the MMA series where you guys submit to me your UFC and MMA hot takes and we go the fuck over them, okay? We see where they are on the spectrum, metaphorically and literally, okay? How hot of a take is this? Where is it right? Where is it wrong? So, shout out to all y'all that submitted to me your guys' hot takes. You know, I put up some in, the community tab or the bullshit, whatever it's called, and you guys submitted me quite a few. We're gonna be going over most of these takes, so shout out to all y'all and thank you for anybody who submitted anything, subscribed or not. We're gonna be going over it hopefully today. So we're just gonna start here, starting off with Fun Fion 2045. I feel like I'm fucking up. I swear to God, dude, I just did like 5 takes of me trying to pronounce the name Fion, so I hope I didn't fucking botch that shit. But saying that he likes the Apex, okay? He said, I like the Apex. As a European fan, it's nice that the Apex fight nights start at 9 p.m. for the prelim card and 12 a.m. for the main card, so I can be in bed by roughly 3 a.m. rather than 6 a.m., which non-Apex American cards require me to. Now listen, as selfishly as an American fan, like, I don't know, man, like, I'm cool with how they really kind of treat, they prioritize, I guess, the American time zones. But at the end of the day, even I'm aware that it's complete bullshit what they do to y'all, okay? The European fans have to go through so much. All right, for the mid cards, for the bullshit cards, or for the elite of the elite amazing cards, y'all stay up and you watch this shit. And I tip my Ben Askren fro to y'all, okay? I commend y'all because fuck, dude. I mean, even when they were doing like the Fight Night Macau, my ass had to wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and I was fucking regretting everything. You know what I mean? So I can't even imagine the pain that y'all go through, like waking up in the middle of the night or going to sleep in the middle of the night. And I can understand, like, I always wondered, like, who are the motherfuckers that like the Apex? Because if you gotta think about it, like, all of the millions of UFC fans, there's like 5% of y'all that got that. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. But there's millions of UFC fans, okay, and like a pretty decent margin are watching the Apex cards. I always wondered who likes the Apex. So like, who's actually like, you know what, I kind of prefer, the silence of it, or I kind of prefer hearing the coaches. I kind of prefer really hearing the Hooker versus Poirier, the Gaethje versus Ferguson, really hearing that leather pound, like, pause. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people, I always wondered, like, what are the aspects of the Apex that people really like? And Fion here has a reason, like timing wise. I wouldn't even really thought about that for a reason of people why someone might really kind of fuck with the Apex. And at the end of the day, kind of expanding our fucking horizons a bit here, alright? There's genuine reasons for people to like the Apex, but I'm gonna be honest, this is still, I feel like, a hot take. Like, for all the European fans, I'm happy for y'all that apparently this is a thing. And if Apex cards work out a little better for y'all, I'm fucking happy for y'all because it really is bullshit. Listen, I like how they treat the American time zones, but even I'm fucking aware, alright? It doesn't take more than 2 fucking eyes here to tell that, like, the European fans get done, they get done dirty a lot, Canadians, they get done dirty with the cards and Big Ben Amos hobbies or whatever. And then European fans get done time zone wise, especially we just saw it last year, and a bunch of other countries, and it's just like, at the end of the day, I'm happy for y'all. So, you know what, Fion, for you and people that are standing their base with this one, maybe it's not a hot take, but just in general, to like the Apex, sometimes I don't know if the ends justify the means, man. Like, I would so much rather they just be done with the Apex. If it became like a once a month thing, I could do that. I could do that, but all of this just, I don't mind having a fight night every weekend. I really enjoy that, but at the end of the day, man, I understand that some cards are going to be weaker than others, but just the fact that there's no crowd just takes away so much. Like, it was a cool gimmick at first, but as time goes on, and by the time it hit 2023 and 4, it was already kind of just run down. And now that we're in Big Bad 2025, and, I appreciate how they're really stacking up fight night cards with actual crowds, but at the end of the day, the Apex is just still the Apex. And again, we're going to get Tybura versus Spivak for the quadrilogy till 2028, man. Like, I don't know how much of a joke that is, to be honest with you, seeing, I don't even know, the state of the blobs and the state of the Apex. So, Fion, I'm happy for you that the Apex has some pros to it, but at the end of the day, I want that place to be fucking burned down, bro. Alright, get everybody the fuck out of there, alright? And let's just fucking move on and get everybody back to the crowds, okay? Apex, I can't fucking stand it, to be honest with you. Sometimes they over-deliver and sometimes they're really good, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I can't fuck with it, man. But moving on up next to another hot take we got here coming from No Bromo UFC, saying that Merab is the most entertaining champion. Hey, No Bromo, shout out to you and all my other fans, okay? Paying for my $10.99 OnlyFans subscription to watch all of my funny skits. Thank you so much. In all seriousness, no Bromo. Who paid you, bro? Okay. No, in all more seriousness, I can honestly understand this. If you're being for real about this, and this is your for real take, I'm not going to clown it as much as some other people, all right? We're all welcome here to some of the most casual or hardcore, whatever the fuck takes over here at All the Smoke, okay? Merab's the most entertaining champion. Dude, I'm not necessarily going to agree with this in terms of really, let me pull up the rankings and everyone who's champ right now, because Merab, I guess somewhere is probably in the middle for me personally in terms of like most entertaining to least entertaining. I mean, Pereira was probably the most entertaining before, all things considered, with his reign, but now that that's over, I mean, shit, man. I mean, Makhachev, I wish he would fight a little bit more, but at the end of the day, he's had a really entertaining title run. I mean, Topuria was I was on the rise of getting an amazing title run, but he kind of cut it a bit short. Understandable reasons, but Dricus right now is kind of leading the way in terms of just exciting champions, because Big Ank, underratedly entertaining, but he has a lot of duds. Bilal, hey, I'm the next GSP, I'm going to go out there against JDM, and I'm going to outstrike him and prove that, I'm the best boxer in the UFC. These guys just aren't on my level. Bilal, man, he tries out there and it's respectable, but come on now, brother. We're not going to Bilal fights for entertainment most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Merab, man, I don't know. Merab is in the middle for me. Pantoja kind of puts on bangers once in a while, so like Jones doesn't even fucking fight. He puts on duds, but Aspinall is just such an incredible fucking talent. Just a fucking bull, a marauder, one might say in there, dude. So I don't know, man. The champions are very kind of up and down right now in the UFC in terms of entertainment level. Talent wise, it's crazy if it's ever fucking been, to be honest with you. But in terms of just entertainment, man, we have a lot of decision merchants, a lot of duds in here. Not that many trash talkers, not that many, or I don't know how to kind of word it all, but at the end of the day, I think that y'all understand what I'm saying here. So Merab is probably in the middle for me because, the fights with Henry Cejudo, the fights with Marlon Moraes, the fights recently with Umar Nurmagomedov, like Merab has his fair share of fights where he puts on a good he always puts on an amazing pace. It's one of the most impressive things about him. If anything, this most impressive thing about him, like Merab's wrestling is great and his little showboating, but dude, his endurance, his cardio, and his willpower in there is just a sight to fucking behold. It's the ninth wonder of the world. Or how many fucking wonders are there? Are there 8? Are there 7? I don't fucking know, but wherever the fuck it is, all right, double digits or not, let's put Merab in there because his cardio and the pace that he puts on guys, he just shoots takedowns like it's just at will, like he just knows he has an infinite gas tank, and it just completely, the way he just imposes his style in there and just completely dictates the pace of the fight and where it goes is pretty fucking crazy to see. Even if he has some sloppy ass striking or whatever the fuck, and the man speaks goofy as hell on the mic, I can understand how people would say Merab's the most entertaining champion, but I don't know if, Topuria is not really the champion anymore, so I guess we're talking about like Pantoja and Makhachev and Duplessis. It's like the most entertaining champion. So when we're really comparing it, I feel like it's a fair fucking argument that Merab might be the most entertaining champion, man. As crazy as that is to say, if you ask some people, that would mean that the state of the UFC is on fucking fire right now, and to some people maybe it fucking is, but we'll have to fucking see, man. I can understand this take. I would still classify it as a hot take though, me personally. But Merab, a lot of his fights are duds, and a lot of them are fucking decisions. That's the thing. That's what holds me back here. For as much as I can appreciate a good Merab fight, and I do think he puts on his fair share of good ones, it's more so than not of them are kind of stingers. But the ones that are fun, they're fucking fun. So I can understand. And, if you like a little bit of Merab shit on the mic, then this is the title reign for you, man. So I guess moving on now to another one we got here. Otis Whaley saying there won't be a men's champ from the USA at the end of the year. Dude, I'm not really down you, okay? I don't really know. This is, maybe a hot take because the USA is always going to kind of have people in the upper echelon of the divisions and the rankings and all that kind of bullshit. But at the end of the day, man, look at how Guru's paving the way, I should say, for really exposing how USA wrestling has kind of been all talk the past couple of years. And it, used to be a lot bigger of a deal inside and outside the cage, but now it just seems like it's getting shut down by people that, a lot of these caucus, the Georgians and the Daggies, like they're out wrestling these guys, and they're just completely, even guys who are primarily strikers, like we got a Pereira, you know what I'm saying? And he's able to just efficiently stuff down all the Big Ank's takedowns. So it's shit like that really makes you think, okay, USA wrestlers or not, and just talent, like, I don't know if they're going to have a champ, because Jones, if he's champ by the end of the year, then someone's wrong, because he either beat Aspinall, and now he's waiting for fucking the big anchor Jamal Hill or Derek Lewis fight, the big bad Derek Lewis versus John Jones fight in 2026, or that means that we just still didn't get the Aspinall fight. So someone's going to be wrong if Jones is still the champ. At the end of the day, man, if he's gone, I mean, I could see Joaquin Buckley winning the title. Like, maybe if he beats Bilal or Shavkat or JDM, whoever's the champ, I could see Buckley, kind of earning his way to a title shot if he beats one more. I heard on commentary that they arguably already fucking gave him the title shot over JDM, but at the end of the day, they're kind of saving Buckley for a number one contendership spot, and let's fucking see it. I just talked about in a recent video how I think Buckley has a really good shot at kind of just beating a guy like Bilal, who I rate honestly pretty highly for as boring as I think some of his Bilal's fights are. Like, in terms of his fucking talent, man, I rate Bilal pretty fucking high. So at the end of the day, Buckley is kind of our biggest hope, I think, in terms of like getting close to that title shot, because I don't think Poirier and Gaethje are gonna get any, or Michael Chandler are gonna get any close for lightweight. Light heavyweight has fucking nobody from the States. I mean, Sean fucking Strickland. Here's the fucking thing, you guys. I might have let down the flag, but I swear to God, you motherfuckers, I'm never getting 50-45 by the Flying Dutchman again. Sean Strickland ain't touching the belt, and he's kind of like the big American, I mean, for middleweight, unless we see like a 2026 Jerry Cannonier title run. I don't know, man. I really don't see a lot of Americans that are going to really become champion. Like, Sean O'Malley maybe can beat Merab. That might be some. Other than that, though, man, I'm really not seeing much. Maybe I'm missing someone, but, this might be a hot take, Otis, from first glance, but at the end of the day, man, like, I don't know. I think there's a pretty good chance that we really might not see a USA men's champ or a men's champ out of the United States this year, for fuck's sake. So, kind of crazy, but we're just kind of in that era, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, bro. Hey, it is what it is, brother. So moving on up next to AMR Goated saying that Ilya is the most overrated fighter of all time. I mean, listen, I think it just depends on who we're talking about here, because in terms of like the person that we're talking about with Ilya, because if you talk to some people, Ilya's already in their top 5 or top 10, greatest fighters of all time. And to that, I say, calm the fuck on. Let's relax a little bit. Like, Ilya Topuria has done something great, and he's on a great run right now. He's trying to do something remarkable and fucking historic, and let's fucking see it. You know what I'm saying? If he can go out there and retire by 30 and become the fucking go to the sport or close to it, I'll tip my Ben Askren throw to him. That's fucking insane to see. But at the end of the day, man, for as incredible as it is to beat Volk and Holloway back to back, and beating a couple of ranked featherweights right before, putting a beating on the almighty Josh Emmett, that's his biggest win of all, for fuck's sake. To put him in the top 10 is crazy, man. Top 20, listen, I could talk. Top 15, all right, we might be pushing it, but you got me, right? But top 10, man, top 5, it's like, come the fuck on. Like, longevity is an important part to, like, where we kind of rate these guys on the GOAT status. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at a guy like Volk. If he beats Lopez isn't the craziest name on the resume, but it's a good enough resume, and it says a lot about Volk's legacy to where he would move up overall, I feel like. So at the end of the day, Ilya Topuria is doing crazy fucking things, and we're going to see how the whole move to lightweight goes, because it could backfire on him. He could lose to these guys like Saryuki and Oliveira, even Poirier, Makhachev. So we'll fucking see. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not even saying that longevity is so crazy, like, oh, Anderson Silva with the 16 title defenses or the fucking 8 billion over 9,000 title defenses. I'm not saying anything like that, because like a lot of those old school title defenses are a bit overrated. Even like modern day title defenses, like, Jones' recent run over like Anthony Smith and shit like that, like those kinds of wins, man. Like, a title run sometimes can be heavily overrated, but at the same time, sometimes they're not. And a title win really does fucking mean a lot. And when you look at Topuria's 2 title wins that he had, they mean almost as much as it gets. He's beating the featherweight GOAT, the divisional GOAT, and then knocking out a guy who was the almighty gatekeeper of gatekeepers in Max Holloway, like the clear silver medalist. Like, Max Holloway is the guy where if he went to the Olympics 3 or 4 years in a row, he would get silver every fucking time. He'd win gold at first, but then he would get the silver because the fucking Volkanovskis and all the other motherfuckers would show up, and he just couldn't get his time in. Like, the talent was there. Max Holloway is so fucking good. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. But that's how crazy it is that Topuria was able to shut him down like that and to knock him out. Like, it's just, I think Topuria's talents are so fucking there. But again, it just depends who you ask in terms of if we're overrating him or underrating him. Like, if some people don't even have him in the top 30 or 40, it's like, listen, I think now you're underrating Topuria. Like, let's fucking move him up there. And I'm not just saying there has to be a specific range for it to be a right opinion, okay? We could be very fucking flexible with this, but I think it just depends who you're asking. Some people rate this guy way too fucking insane, and we need to fucking relax. And some people rate him, I feel like, a lot more kind of fair and a little more reasonable. But I get it's easy to get on the hype, but let's see this move to lightweight, and let's see where he's at in the next like 3 years. We're gonna find out a lot. You know what I'm saying? So we'll fucking see it, man. But there's a lot of fucking hope. You know what I'm saying? This dude is scary. He's well-rounded as fucking. He knows how to talk his shit. So we'll fucking see. And he's young. He's in his prime. He's fucking dangerous. So moving on up next now to a hot take coming from Desmond Kaiser, saying that I think Dan Hooker is overrated now. I feel like he had a low chance to beat Gaethje, but he relies a lot on his toughness and grit. He's always had a mid-gas tank after the third round, and his striking is good, but not great. Hooker loses to most of the elite strikers, in my opinion, in the division. Now, honestly, man, I feel like this isn't too hot of a take, but it also is at the same time. It depends who you're talking. What country are they from? All right, are they an Aussie? Are they a fucking Kiwi? Because they're gonna hate this bullshit. Are they a Dan Hooker hardcore? They're gonna hate you for this bullshit. But honestly, man, I can understand why Dan Hooker would be kind of considered overrated. Like the wins that he's getting over Jalen Turner, Mateusz Gamrot, the big mighty Claudio Puelles. Like, listen, they are solid wins. The Gamrot win's actually pretty fucking good. The Turner win's solid. The Puelles win is just kind of fucking there. But at the end of the day, man, even though these are kind of close fights, kind of fucking wars back and forth, most of them, they're still good wins for Hooker, and I think that's great for him. I love to see him back in the top 5 selfishly as a Hooker fan, because I'm not like the craziest Hooker fan in the world or anything like that. Like, I'm not buying the dude's fucking merch and shit like that. He's not like my favorite lightweight, but I fuck with the dude. He's an exciting fucker. He loves the fucking game. He's exciting as hell. He seems like he's got a sick personality. He's out here making fucking YouTube videos with his daughter for the little, her little YouTube channel, but then he's also tatted up to the core. Like, he just went down to Satan to get it done himself, and then he's coming back up, and now he's trying to fight, whoever the fuck's next for him, and trying to get a fucking win and get a title shot, for God's sake. It's crazy, just Dan Hooker as a whole and the storyline that he's on right now. So I think it just depends how big of a fan someone is. Like, some people are going to rate him so highly and say that Dan Hooker deserves to be close to next in line, or Dan Hooker can beat, Dan Hooker could beat Saryukin or Gaethje or Oliveira. It's like some people are going to fucking push this guy way too far over a Mateusz Gamrot and a Jalen Turner win. Like, am I very happy for Hooker to see him kind of like get this recent success? Yeah. And if the fights that he's been putting on very fun, yes, they fucking are. But at the end of the day, I kind of agree but disagree with you. I don't think Hooker's overrated, but I do think he kind of is at the same time. Like, I don't know. I don't think Hooker would beat Oliveira. I mean, maybe. I don't know, though. Like, I don't think Hooker would beat a Holloway. I don't think Hooker would beat a Saryukin. Like, I think Hooker could beat a Gaethje, Poirier, and maybe he could beat all those guys I just listed. But, like, if we saw Hooker versus Makhachev 2, listen, I think it'd be better than the first time. But, like, we're talking about a second-round submission for Makhachev here or some shit like that, in my opinion. And that's nothing wrong with Hooker. But, like, when Moicano went out there, and I rated Moicano pretty fair. I rated him pretty highly, man, all right? Relatively, at least. Not, like, crazy. But when he went out there and he got smoked, I get it was on a day's notice, but in a round, and he didn't even have really any moments. It says a lot about the kind of gap between Makhachev and kind of these, 10, or I shouldn't even say 10, like 6 to 10 ranked guys in the division, you know what I'm saying? And Makhachev already beat him in a round before, but that's what I'm saying. It just goes to show. So Hooker, I can understand this point. I think there's a lot of winnable matchups for Hooker. I even think Hooker would beat Gaethje. I had him winning, in my original prediction before he pulled out. And I think that there's a lot of winnable fights for Hooker, man. And I think he's very fucking good. I like to see this redemption, but I can also see why a lot of people are fucking overrating him. And it's like, we just kind of need to relax a little bit with that kind of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Recognize that Hooker is on a tear right now, and the talented there. Very powerful striker, crisp, awkward on the feet, but still like very efficient, solid defensive grappling. But at the end of the day, man, there is, I feel like, a bit of a wall. I hope he breaks that fucking wall. I really do. But at the end of the day, I guess we got to see it. You know what I mean? Moving on now to Ben T800 saying that Volk would beat Khabib. Now listen, Volk is my favorite motherfucking fighter, and Khabib is honestly just someone who I'm not too crazy about, to be honest. I don't dislike the guy, okay? I've been pretty open where it's like John Jones is the only fighter where I kind of openly I cannot fucking stand the guy. There's other fighters that I kind of don't really prefer more than others, but at the end of the day, I'm not too crazy on Khabib, but I'm very fucking all in or all for the hype of Volkanovski. You know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for him against Lopez. I'm always rooting for him to be the featherweight GOAT. You know what I'm saying? The only motherfucker I have merch for. So I'm trying not to be just completely biased in this when I say, okay, that I do think that Volk would beat Khabib as well. Okay? I think it's a hot take, but I'm going to be agreeing with this hot take, Benjamin. Listen. listen, I don't know if it's the merch and me talking. I'm looking at this shit right now, but I don't know if it's the merch and me talking or what. I look at the Volk versus Makhachev fight for just pretty much how I break down a Volk versus Khabib. Like, I'm not saying Khabib and Makhachev have the exact same style or even like crazy similar. I think Makhachev is a lot more well-rounded. He's a lot more diverse of a striker, a lot more powerful of a striker, just a lot more just well-rounded. Like, Khabib was very reliant and just on the dominant grappling and just the endurance and just like pushing such a heavy pace on guys on the ground and just racking up control time, racking up submissions here and there, I guess. But at the end of the day, especially in the title run, but at the end of the day, man, I think that Volkanovski versus Khabib, it would just play out like, it just, in terms of the wrestling, I think Makhachev and Khabib are on similar pars. Like, I think Khabib's a superior wrestler, but Makhachev's a superior talent overall, if that makes sense. But I think that Khabib's wrestling, would be able to give Volkanovski a lot of problems, but I think it'd be nothing more than Makhachev was really able to do in that first fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that he'd be able to get him down a few times, but I think that just in terms of control time, it wouldn't be anything too crazy. And in terms of getting a submission, I don't think Khabib will be able to fucking do it any better than Makhachev got close to doing it. And in terms of battle on the feet, I mean, Khabib is less good of a striker than Makhachev was, and even Makhachev, you could argue, who was piecing up who on the feet, but at the end of the day, man, I think Volk would kind of light up Khabib. So I think it's realistic to say that Volk could really beat Khabib via a decision here. I think it'd be really fucking difficult, let alone to beat Khabib at all, but to fucking take him out via ground and pound, or even for Volk to get a goddamn submission over Khabib. What kind of Marvel-ass timeline? They just ran out of ideas, so they're doing Volk beating Khabib via submission. All right, that's where we're at with that bullshit. I really do think it's not too crazy to think that Volk could beat Khabib, but I do think that saying that he could win, I don't know, maybe this is a hot take. It is a hot take. Let's fucking be real, but I'm gonna agree with it, okay? Say whatever the fuck you want, whether I'm a Volk fan or not, fucking screw it, because I just think logically, man, I think Volkanovski is just so well-rounded. He's so good with the defensive wrestling, and he just has the endurance, he has the fight IQ, he has the advantage on the feet against Khabib. Like, I just think he has all the tools to beat Khabib. Khabib is just, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not the biggest Khabib fan, but at the end of the day, he's still a top 10 fighter of all time, and he still is one of the best lightweights of all time. So I gotta fucking put respect on that, but Volkanovski, I think, beats him 7 out of 10 times, if that makes sense. So that's my opinion on that. So I'm going to agree with this. Even though it's a hot take, I'm going to agree with this, Ben. Moving on, up next to the last take we got here, man, coming from Connor Barrett, saying that Michael Morales is a tough matchup in the top 5 for everyone and will be a future champ. Now, listen, I wouldn't be so surprised if Michael Morales beats a lot of guys in the top 5. I wouldn't even be surprised if maybe one day he touches the belt. I think that Morales kind of is lacking in some departments, but at the end of the day, he's young and is racking up experience pretty relatively. He's a relatively active fighter, and they're kind of taking him on an appropriate path, kind of moving forward. So I think Morales can be really fucking dangerous for a lot of guys. I think he's going to go out there and beat Burns and then get a top 5 guy after that, There's guys like Leon, there's guys like Gary, Buckley, JDM, like Shavkat. There's guys there for Michael Morales. He's a fight or two away from getting those big opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Well, he's one fight away from getting those opportunities, and that is a Gilbert Burns fight. And Michael Morales has been a fucking minus 500 favorite already. So at the end of the day, I think those are kind of a bit crazy odds, but it's not too crazy at the same time. Michael Morales, man, he's a well-rounded fighter who seems to already have a lot of good fight IQ, good patience, but also good durability, endurance. Like, Michael Morales is just like, he seems like that fucking guy, if that makes sense. All right, and I mean that in the best way possible. Like, Michael Morales seems like he's gonna go pretty far. He's a good talent to fucking invest in, but I also think that he is beatable. Like, I do think he's a hittable fighter. I do think, he's a guy that I could see elite wrestlers being able to take down. I could see guys that are very elite, powerful strikers being able to piece him up, but we'll have to see. That's how it kind of is with these young upcoming prospects. There are these question marks, and we're gonna get them answered real soon. But honestly, welterweight is just a division that's filled to the fucking brim with prospects anyway, so they're kind of just really duking it out to find out who the new goddamn king of the pirates is for the division. So Michael Morales, man, I could see him easily kind of just going ahead and taking out a lot of guys in the top 5, but we'll have to see. Kind of actions speak louder than words on that one. He has the talent to do it, and on paper I could see it getting done, but welterweight is such a deep division, man. I feel like a lot of guys can go back and forth. Like, maybe Gary beats Morales 5 out of 10 times and vice versa. Like, a lot of these matchups I feel like are very close, and it goes to show just like the depth of the division and how elite everything is, man. And these guys are fucking ready to bring it. So, and pretty much that is gonna be it here, man, for all the takes I got. For everyone who submitted it, whether I covered it or not, I appreciate y'all for sending shit in, man. Okay, so thank you so very much for giving me y'all's time, man. And thank you to everyone for who made it this far in the video, man. I appreciate y'all a lot. So everyone who submitted shit, again, whether we went over it or not, man, I appreciate y'all a lot for, man. Thank you so very much. And if y'all could help me get to 1,000 subscribers, I would really greatly motherfucking appreciate it. Hopefully we can get to that before the UFC Iowa card. I just fucking bought my ticket today for the motherfucking pre-sale. It's gonna be my first UFC event. I'm pretty fucking excited for it, man. They're kind of building it up too. All right, say whatever the fuck you want about Sandhagen, Nerdhagen, but he's one of my favorite fighters. He's my favorite bantamweight, so I'm pretty fucking excited for it. So UFC motherfucking Iowa, baby. So yeah, man, thanks so very much for making this far in the video. Please help me get to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. And again, just in general, thanks for giving me your guys' time and attention and support. I really fucking appreciate it. So thanks so much, guys. Hope you have a good one. Thanks for making it this far, and I will see you all next time.